I'm Margaret in Windsor, and that's all I'm going to say about my name, other than I was kidnapped in 41 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given another name of a murdered twin, Peggy. I still have to use that name. I married a Childers. My real name is Margaret Ann Windsor. My father's Edward VIII, who never married Wallace Simpson. A double did. It was a takedown of my father because he wouldn't go along and take orders from the Illuminati, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, members of my own family. In fact, the Illuminati, Rockefellers, Roosevelt, the president, the Kennedys, JFK's father, and JFK, installed illegal George VI because he went along with them, the Illuminati. They invaded Great Britain under the guise of helping us. They'd taken down my father with character assassination. He was married to my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, from Madison, Wisconsin. So it was a total lie, the takedown and marrying Wallace. And of course, my uncle helped in my kidnapping. JFK did. His father was appointed ambassador to England by Roosevelt, another Jew. Can I say that? The Jews, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, helped kidnap me and bring me over to the hellhole I lived in all my life. Now, I want to put this up. With the things that had happened to me, and they are so horrific. I hope they're shown, and what was done to my children. But after I did a medical malpractice book, MD, a licensed killer, I thought all that was happening to me at that time was because of the book. I'd gotten a letter from the attorney's office issued by the FBI, ongoing investigation, national security involved. Well, ongoing is they stacked them, the crimes committed against me and the mind control murders, which I told you all about, and all I got was get the hell out of my way and shut up. Anyway, I'm going to stop here because I hope the one in Parkland where they were done in patterns, and this young man who's a victim himself is being charged in court for how many murders? Oh, I've forgotten how many. There were 14, and the injuries, and he's called every dirty name in the book. Of course, this has been going on, and he probably, if it hadn't happened to him, he might like to talk to me now, but all these family members are down there. Oh, please tell us what's going on. I've been doing it, and you didn't want to hear it. The FBI was so correct when they said, you bore them, talking about me, and he yawned, with what you're telling them. It's not until they find how it affects them that they care. Now, the reason for this tape that I'm going to put up, I can't hear right now. I have been through holy hell all my life. For what? My money came in here to keep me alive. I have lived one hell of a life, and my children tortured in plain sight. Well, I told you what was going on. The use of mind control to program people. You have to stop the programming. It is not mental illness. Absolutely not. And they're using the mental health system as a cover to lock up innocent people that are programmed. And I'm going to quote, I won't quote it. It goes back to Cobb County and the district attorney's office, who I think probably, I know Buddy Darden was a good one and Tom Sharon, but I'm not going to go back and quote them. Anyway, I'm going to say what I started to say when I'm making this tape. I want to go to another subject here. What is that? The DACA program, where the illegal immigrants came in with their children, and now then their children who have lived here quite a while, and there's a bunch of them, a whole slew of them, that are saying they should be able to live here and reap the benefits of what? And I'm not taking up for you Americans, believe me. Oh, no. I'm just pointing this out. So they get to share in all the pie. Everybody wants a slice of the pie, the American pie, unless you Americans have to pay for your crimes, then they want no part of it, you see. Anyway, this is what this whole thing, the Democrats are supposed to be the good guys. They're giving away, the Americans didn't, they brought me over here the money that poured in for my kidnapping. They took down my father, Edward VIII, my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe. They installed Elizabeth and illegal. You are the global government, America. I don't think you're going to like it. It's now in the form of the UN and the Rockefellers up in New York. And this is what I was going to get to. The DACA program. They're saying that these children should not be deported. They were brought here illegally by their parents. Well, the law should have been taken care of and enforced back then. It wasn't. So now then they're able to get out and march and want all these benefits and the schooling and poor, poor, poor. I want to ask you a question, America. Had the parents robbed a bank, maybe you think this is ridiculous, but it's the only one I can come up with example. The parents had robbed all these banks and everything, and finally they had to pay for the crime. Would you also let the children inherit paying for their crime if the parents tried to give the money to their kids? What would you do with that? Give it to the kids, their parents? Okay, maybe that's a little muddled for you, but think about it. Now, I want to go back to this one. I went through the civil rights in Alabama. That's where you put me. I also know that Martin Luther King, the civil rights leader, joined with John Kennedy, JFK, that helped kidnap me, in this mental health scam. And also the fact that Andrew Young, the Reverend, was appointed ambassador, U.S. ambassador by Jimmy Carter from Georgia, the governor and then president, to the UN, which the whole point was taking down Great Britain, the South Africa, all of it. They approach you as friends, and then before you know it, the global government's in, and it'll be shut down. It's in now. Okay, I want to go back to this one. The American Indians. And I didn't just start this today or yesterday, a long time ago. The American Indians have been so mistreated. How dare you give... All I can see here in Roanoke and watching television is I've been deprived and beaten. I have no civil rights. And food has been dished out here and there. They have homes built for them. Really just give, give, give. So long as you're not me, I guess, or the American Indian. Because they've lived in nuclear waste. They've lived every moment fighting for a breath just like me. How dare you? It's like they don't exist. And then you got Martin Luther King, who I personally know helped in the mess that happened to me after I was brought here. With John Kennedy, this mental health and that ends up being mind control in the mental health system, not to help you, to hide the crimes of mind control. It's a war crime. They can lock you up and bypass the courts and call you crazy when you've been programmed. And I'm going to go back to Tom Sheeran now, back in Cobb County. I will, back in about 1979 when I was doing the book. And he mentioned mind control and programming. And you have to stop the programming and the mind control in these murders, like it's just happened at Parkland, Texas. And there have been so many of them the last few years, and even using it to program people to go on an airliner and take it down have a shoe bomber on there. You can program the pilot, just like the KAL with Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, that went down en route from Juneau, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea, August the 31st of 83. So you can program the pilot. And by the way, that was to get rid of Congressman Dr. Larry McDonald that I wrote about in the book, MD A License to Kill. Now, Nixon was on that flight, and he was taken off just before the flight took off to South Korea, and it crashed. 260 plus aboard. And I don't know how true it is, but I tend to believe it, that Larry McDonald, they took the plane down, but Larry McDonald wasn't really on it, but they said he was. So anyway, where am I? You can take a plane down, and people now want marshals put on the flights, and they have been. Well, hey, let me tell you, the horror of it all is, who says the U.S. Marshal didn't come out blasting or doing something on the plane, that he's been programmed. Or you put the security guards in the schools like Sandy Hook or whatever down in Florida, or in the schools, and they're programmed to come out shooting. That's what you're playing with. And now I want to go back to the American Indians. Where on earth, in plain sight, they've been ignored. They fought for their life. The TV coverage won't touch it hardly. The Illuminati that kidnapped me, the Rockefellers and Rothschilds, control your media. They have for a lot, when my father was taken down, way back then. So, the Native Indians, what are you going to do? One day, maybe you might, the global government's in. It will be. It's already in now. It just hasn't shut you down. What are you going to tell the American Indians? Why you ignored them all this time? Yet you had supposedly civil rights. The blacks were taken from the back of the line to the front. But where's the American Indian? Low man on the totem pole, except for me. And I do want to say this. When I had the Larry Flint car furnished to me for a year, I had gone back out to Flint's, I believe. Well, I still had my things in the car. And I had stopped by Jack Hartsfield's. He was in Santa Fe next to Abiquiu, where my Aunt George O'Keefe had Ghost Ranch. And I spent a couple of weeks with him. He was a reporter that saved my life in 1980. He was undercover FBI. He covered Los Alamos, etc. One of the few decent human beings that tried to make a change for the better in the world. Anyway, I left his place and headed back to, I didn't know where I was going really, other than back up to near Washington. I ended up in Grottoes, Virginia, pumping gas and working in Philip Reineke's Exxon store and pump gas and cashiering with a hustler car parked there because I couldn't afford to do anything else. What's wrong with that picture? Anyway, my car went out of gas because it had dual tanks on it. I found out after I got up to Grottoes, because he actually put it up on. He had a garage. Philip Reineke did. He put it up, and he said, "Well, this is odd. This is an Aries Dodge brand new car." He says, "You've got dual tanks on here." And I said, "Well, I've been telling people something was wrong. Sometimes I'd have this much gas and it'd go this far and shut down. Then it'd go so many miles longer before it ever shut down, so something's wrong." And of course everybody wants to say, well, that's crazy. They don't want to get involved in it. Don't let it touch them. Anyway, I want to go back to just before I got there. So I'm going back to my car went out of gas, and I didn't know where it was. I knew I was out kind of on a secondary road of sorts, and my cat was with me. I'd taken Patrick with me, and it was full of my belongings, and went out of gas. So who steps up but this? He's got a sheriff's badge, and I'm on a reservation. My car's going out on the Indian reservation. I might add that he was very nice to me. He took me to get a bite to eat, and paid for it. and get gas. And he brought me back and put it in my car, and I was on my way. And I thank him today because he was very nice. And I wanted to say that on behalf of whatever it amounts to for the American Indians for how they've been treated. Because I know what low man on the totem pole is myself.